Good evening, baseball fans. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to episode 15 of MLB Hot Takes. We're talking Nolan Arenado, Pete Alonso. Yeah, the Mets and the Cardinals having some fun today, huh? Anthony Rizzo, George Springer, and much more. Let's get to it. And good evening, baseball fans. Hello, hello, hello. A lot of familiar faces in the chat here. John, haha, what is going on? Odd Villain, Connor Gray, John Sullivan, hello. Lando Sports, what's going on, my friend? Nexus Eagles, hello, hello. Sam, E-Rock TV, what is going on? Connor Gray, hello, my friend. King Yellowman, what's going on? How are we doing? CJ La Chapelle, what's going on, my friend? Hello, hello. Southsider 14, what's going on? How are we doing? Joseph Allen, hello. What is going on? Baseball God, KDX54, Brendan DH. If I missed anyone else, hello, everyone. Welcome to Hot Takes, where every week I ask for your hot takes and I buy or sell them. So we've been doing this now. I feel like, man, how many weeks in a row? Feels like, man, we're just having fun with these streams, man. I love doing these hot takes. So, but before I do get started, everyone, if you can, please hit that like button right now for me. That's really going to help this get out there. We have been struggling for viewers lately. I don't know. I feel like the live streams are a little dead lately. Power rankings were really good the other night. We got over 300 people in the chat for that, so that was nice. But would love to start getting some more viewers onto these other live streams during the week. But again, if you can, hit that like button. It's going to help it get out there. Hey, share it on Twitter if you can. Hit the bell notification as well. And hey, subscribe if you are new. Don't forget, I got to plug these. I am so sorry. But hey, SeatGeek, we got a partnership here. Use my code HYDE, $20 off your first purchase. Also, Prize Picks. If you're looking to maybe go win a few bucks, go check out Prize Picks. Use my code Ginger. They'll do a 100% deposit match for you using my code. So, alrighty, everyone. Let's get to it. We're going to start off hot here. I mean, no pun intended. Nolan Arenado and the Mets today having a pretty fun afternoon. Mets taking the series overall. Pretty good series, honestly. It felt like a playoff series. It felt like there was some energy into it. It's something I'm hoping to see come postseason time. I would love to see the Mets and the Cardinals this October, man, especially the way those two teams played each other this past series. Ton of fun, a lot of energy, a lot of emotion in this series. And today it definitely boiled over with Nolan Arenado, along with Pete Alonso. Had some other guys getting involved as well. But let's start off with Nolan Arenado since, I got this hot take earlier, and hey, it just so happens that Nolan Arenado's in the news today. So the first hot take from Big Fish 11, Nolan Arenado wins his first MVP. I think a lot of people right now, they're thinking, that's very possible with Nolan Arenado. He's off to a great start this season. Let's go take a look at his numbers so far. All right, here we go. But I will get into the altercations between the Mets and the Cardinals here shortly. I do have another hot take that will kind of go perfectly into talking about that. But let's talk about Nolan Arenado first here. So sharing the screen. Alrighty, so like I said, Arenado off to just a great start this season. Through 16 games, he's hitting .344, a .420 on base, .672 slugging, 217 WRC plus. He's already got a 1.6 WAR on Fangraphs. If I were to do some quick math here, let's take a look here. 1.6 divided by 16. Let's say that's over a 162 game season. Well, actually, I don't think I did that right. 1.6 divided by 16. Well, actually, he's on pace for a massive Fangraph WAR. I think I'm doing that right. Yeah, I'm doing the math right. Here we go. 1.6 divided by 16 times 162. He's on pace for a 16.2 Fangraph WAR. I don't think he's going to get to that point, but he's looking really good. And with Arenado, you know the glove is going to be there, so that's only going to help his case in the end. We got a long season to go. We're not even out of April yet, but Arenado, man, very hot start for him, and I definitely buy it. I really think this could be the year where, man, oh man, he gets that MVP, and he's just looking really good, man. And that Cardinals team, they're looking like a good team. So being on a winning team is only going to help your case in the end. But with Arenado, again, great offense so far this season. Really good defense as usual. I think just in the end, man, I think he's just going to end up having a really good season. If you take a look here, it's kind of no surprise. When you look at his BABIPs from the last couple of seasons, 2021, he had a 249 BABIP. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, he's having bad luck, but it can hint towards that. A league average BABIP, you're looking at around like maybe like 290, or actually, you know what? Let me actually go pull it up here. Let's see what the league average BABIP is right now. So the league average BABIP is at 282 at the moment. So, and actually, let me go back to 2021. So if you take a look, 292 was the average BABIP last year in the major leagues. And if you take a look at Nolan Arenado's BABIP last year, it was a 249. So it could suggest, you know, maybe some balls weren't really falling into play very much. You know, doesn't necessarily have to mean that, but it could suggest it. So definitely some times where I think he probably ran into some bad luck last year. Also, don't forget, you know, this guy's been, I honestly think he was going through some injuries last year. He did play 157 games, but, you know, he was kind of going through some stuff back in 2020 with the shoulder. I'm wondering if there were some things lingering a little bit last year. So either way, he's looking really good this year. I think Arenado is definitely on his way to winning an MVP. If we take a look here at the leaderboards when it comes to the National League. So taking a look, that's 2021. Let's go to 2022. Again, it's a long season. I know this is, you know, kind of jumping the gun a little bit. He is going to have some competition. As of right now, it's only Manny Machado, 1.5 Fangraph WAR. Jazz Chisholm, he's having a pretty fun season so far. Look out for him. He's got that speed element to his game as well. I think Jazz Chisholm can definitely make some noise. And don't forget about Francisco Lindor. Looks like he's back to doing Francisco Lindor kind of things. And then, you know, you got some other guys here. Seiya Suzuki's off to a really hot start. Don't forget about Juan Soto. That guy heated up a lot in the second half last year. Bryce Harper as well. So we're still very far away. But Arenado is definitely putting himself already in a good position to win an MVP. He already has the name value as well. You know, I think Arenado absolutely has a chance. Even if he does, you know, a half of what he's doing now, a 3/4 of what he's doing now for the rest of the season, I think he's going to end up having a very good shot at it. So we'll have to wait and see. Can he stay healthy? I definitely think so. But Nolan Arenado, I definitely think he could win an MVP. So let's move on to the next one. Let's kind of get into the whole Mets-Cardinals thing, huh? Let's get into that. So this next hot take is actually perfect because it goes perfectly with that. And you know, this was actually a very interesting hot take. I actually... a very, what's the word? A unique hot take. I actually kind of like this one. Taking a look here from Jonathan Zachritz. The Mets will finish the season with the most hit by pitches in the league. I actually find that one very interesting. Let's go take a look here. So, you know what? Let's actually kind of get into, let me give you my thoughts here. All right, so let's kind of get into this. So, game one, hold on, I'm getting a little bit of lag. There we go. Okay, so game one, right? You know, there was actually a lot that happened. I had to actually write a couple of things down just to make sure I had it right. So game one, if you go back to that game, very good game. The Mets coming out, you know, in the end, took advantage of some not great defense by the Cardinals, which is pretty uncharacteristic of them. Nolan Arenado, speaking of him, had a bad throw. And then Gallegos didn't run to the first base bag. A great play by Paul Goldschmidt. Made a great play there, but Giovanni Gallegos just did not get to the bag in time. And then in the end, the Mets ended up scoring 2 runs on that play. A very exciting Mets win. If you were a Mets fan, you were revved up after that one. So at that point, I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be a good series. What a good start to this series. And then in game 2, Pete Alonso got hit by the pitch, got hit in the helmet. It was a changeup. Let's just take that into consideration. I'm not saying, it's unfortunate he got hit in the helmet. Getting hit by an 83-mile-an-hour changeup still probably does not feel any less worse than getting, okay, maybe a little less worse than getting hit by a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, but still getting hit in the helmet. So he got pretty ticked off about it. You could tell it was a changeup. If you looked at the grip, and you looked at the miles per hour on the pitch, I believe it was 83 miles an hour. So I think that one just got away from him a little bit. Probably was trying to come inside on him. So, unfortunate. Pete Alonso did get hit by it. He did not like it at all. He started barking at him on the mound. And then don't forget about Ottavino. He tried throwing a slider down and in, and I think that one got away from him too. I think he was trying to come inside, just like they were doing with Pete Alonso. And then, guys with the Cardinals started getting upset about it because there were warnings issued. And then I believe it was Miles Michaelis who was yelling from the Cardinals dugout saying, hey, he just got hit by a pitch. I thought there were warnings thrown earlier. Hey, I mean, he's supposed to get ejected. And then Max Scherzer started yelling at him, so it was pretty, wasn't looking too great there. You knew at that point, after the Ottavino slider, you knew there was probably something in the books for game 3. It would look like it was heading that way. And then today, if we take a look here, Nolan Arenado, let me actually, I got to watch out for the copyrights on here. Are you kidding me? Hold on. Let me play this commercial. Got to watch out for the copyrights. But Nolan Arenado, they came inside, or they threw a high fastball at him. And I've actually seen a lot of differing opinions on this. I guess it probably just depends maybe what fan base you're a part of. I feel like I've seen some neutral fan bases as well, taking, kind of picking sides on this. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, actually, before I do get into this video, this actually reminded me of Manny Ramirez back in 2003 in the playoffs against the Yankees. If you remember, Roger Clemens, he threw a very similar pitch, kind of like the one we're about to watch now. Wasn't really too close. It was high. It was inside. It wasn't like way inside, but it was inside. And it was a high fastball kind of near your head. And Manny Ramirez, I remember watching that live. This is Roger Clemens here we're talking about. This is Red Sox Yankees at the time. That was an emotional series already as it was. And then that happened. And then the whole Don Zimmer thing happened after that. So Manny Ramirez, a very similar pitch happened to him, and he took exception to it. I think I'm seeing a lot of people saying with Arenado, hey, what the heck is... Something's going on outside of my hallway. But Arenado, again, it wasn't really inside. When we look at the video here, let's pull it up here. Again, it wasn't really as close as it might have been, but I want to kind of, put this thought into your head. Let's imagine you're in the box. It's been an emotional series. Guys have been yelling back and forth. Pitches have been thrown inside. Guys have been getting hit by pitches. Also, don't forget about Starling Marte as well. He got hit by a pitch as well, too. So there was a lot of stuff going on between both sides, back and forth. So when a guy who is throwing this hard and it's up near your head, maybe it's not as close on the camera as Arenado probably thought it was closer. You got to remember here, already, you're putting yourself in a position where these guys are throwing high octane fastballs. And if anything is eye level and it's even somewhat close to your head, I mean, you're going to get a little freaked out about it, right? When pitches are coming up near your head, let's be realistic here. If you put yourself in the batter's box, I mean, come on, how are you going to feel about that, right? It's literally eye level. It's kind of close to you. It's not like amazingly close, but it kind of gets you going a little bit. It was already an emotional series up to this point. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, Arenado, he's being soft and blah, blah, blah. I just want to say this. Let's have you go in the box and let's have a 98 whatever mile an hour fastball kind of come at the same point, and let's see how you feel. You know, now, did he have to start reacting that way? I could see where maybe Arenado didn't have to start getting this way. I could see, okay, well, maybe, you know, maybe you got a little too emotional here. Did you need to do this? No, probably not. So I can understand where maybe he took a bit of an exception to it, but did he have to start freaking out like this? Probably not. No, I don't think he did. I think he probably, you know, could have kept his cool, stayed in the box. How cool would it have been if he kept his cool, right? And he stays in the box, next pitch, home run. I mean, that would have looked amazing, right? But in the end, he got ejected. Obviously, a brawl happened. Pete Alonso got taken down. You know, especially with these brawls, like, you know, these fights, you always got to be careful because you never know what could happen, you know? So I think Arenado, I will say, he did lose his cool, and I think he probably could have kept his emotions a bit in check, but Arenado's always been a bit of an emotional player. And again, guys have been getting hit, pitches have been thrown inside, guys have been barking back and forth. It's been an emotional series. It's been a tense series. There's been a playoff atmosphere with this series so far, which I love. I think it's amazing. But Arenado, just put yourself in his shoes. Would you like a, you know, blazing fastball kind of getting somewhat close to your head at eye level? You'd probably feel a certain way too. But again, where I think Arenado maybe went a little wrong here was he went a little crazy right there. Did he have to get crazy? Kind of like Manny Ramirez did. It's very similar to the Manny Ramirez Roger Clemens incident back in 2003 and then Don Zimmer ended up getting thrown down. You know, imagine if Manny Ramirez back at that time did not react the way he did. Don Zimmer would probably not have gotten thrown down by Pedro Martinez. So, but, you know, I think Arenado probably could have done a better job at keeping his cool because at the same time, he got ejected. So he's not helping out his team in that way. So, you know, either way, what I like about it, it feels like playoff baseball. And I think we can all agree on that. We all love when these teams, they're jawing at each other. They're pitching inside. You know, that's just good competitive baseball. And that's what I like to see. But hey, what can you do? It's just good baseball, in my opinion. Guys care. These two teams, they're good teams. They're very good teams. And they want to win. You know, and I love it. I love that we're seeing this kind of stuff here in April. You know, why not? I love it. So, as for the hot take in itself, let's go here to the current hit by pitch leaders. As you can see here, the Mets, well, they look like they're running away with it. So the Cardinals, they definitely helped out over the last few games. So, but they already have 19 hit by pitches. Now, if we go take a look here, again, going back to the hot take, let me pull the hot take back up here. The Mets will finish the season with the most hit by pitches in the league. Well, I can definitely buy that. Absolutely. But you know what? I'm going to take this a little further. Could they maybe set the record? Let's go to the record. All time for a team in a season, the most hit by pitches that a team has taken in a season. If we take a look in the American League, the 2008 Cleveland Indians hold that record with 103. And in the National League, way more. The 1898 Baltimore Orioles, 160. Well, if we go take a look here, so how many games so far are they into the season? So the Mets right now, 20 games into the season, and they've already gotten hit by 19 pitches. So that's right, just under one hit by pitch per game. So taking a look here, 19 divided by 20 times 162. They're on pace for 154 hit by pitches. So that would fall short of the all-time record. That's the all-time record as well as the National League record. So they would fall short of that. But, maybe. Could they maybe up the pace a little bit? It's kind of a weird record to have, but you're kind of wondering, I feel like over the past few years, we've been seeing guys getting hit by pitches more and more and more. And I think that's for a multitude of reasons. I think you could point out the fact, pitchers are just pitching inside more. They're not afraid to throw inside. There's also the velocity aspect. You're seeing just a lot more power pitchers these days where, maybe not as much control, where, they're kind of letting one get away more often. Hitters crowding the plate a little bit more. Hitters are trying to find ways to be tougher at bats. What are some ways they can get their elbows a little more involved? And guys, I feel like these days, they're not afraid to get hit on the elbow, especially with how good these elbow guards are now. You get the shin guards where they're very protective these days. So I think guys, they're not really afraid of getting hit by pitches as much. If you go back, the 80s, the 70s, guys, hitters in the box, even the 90s as well, hitters in the box are diving out of the way. They don't want to get hit by these pitches, but it feels like today, guys are not as afraid of getting hit by pitches as, obviously no one wants to get hit by a pitch. Arenado, obviously, that was an example today where he jumped out of the way. Of course, you're still going to have guys do that, but I feel like guys, we've seen, last year, I believe it was Michael Conforto, where he leaned in. Remember with the elbow, right? He leaned in on the elbow and ended up being a walk-off hit by pitch. They're okay with getting hit, because they have these elbow guards. So I think it's possible they could they reach this? They're already on a pretty decent pace as it is, on pace for 154 hit by pitches in a season. We'll have to wait and see, but I will definitely buy that they could end up leading the league, because to me, you got a lot of guys on this Mets team. They're tough at bats. They like to crowd the plate. So we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. I do like that hot take. I thought that was a pretty unique one. So I love the unique hot takes. So for future reference, hey, the more unique you can make a hot take, the more likely I'm going to pick it. So try and remember that for next time. Here we go. Speaking of the Mets, we're all in on the Mets right now. Oh, you know what, actually? Hold on. I did have a couple of more things to talk about here. Hold on. Before I fully move on, let me actually talk about Pete Alonso here for a second. So Pete Alonso, stubby clap today. Man, oh man. Taking down Pete Alonso. Poor stubby clap, man. The polar bear just falling on top of him. Good grief. That's a lot of man falling on top of you. But Pete Alonso kind of made some comments today. Let me see if I can pull up these comments. Here we go. Let's pull these comments up here. So I'm a big, strong guy. If I wanted to put someone in the hospital, I easily could. But I was just out there trying to protect my guys. All right, Pete Alonso. All right, come on, man. We got to calm down. We got to calm down. Come on. If I wanted to put someone in the hospital, I easily could. Oh, come on. We got to calm that down, Mr. Pete. Come on. You're supposed to be the friendly polar bear. You're supposed to be the loving polar bear. I get what he's trying to say, sticking up for his teammates, but I think that's a little, I don't know, a little too much to say. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm interested. Do you think these are, do you think these comments are okay? As a Mets fan, I would like to know what you think. I could see, people saying, oh, hey, he's just sticking up for his guys. I don't know. I feel like these are a little too much, in my opinion. If I wanted to put someone in the hospital, I easily could. Well, what? Come on. What do you? Kind of a weird humble brag. You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, let's get to it here. Next hot take. Since we're on the Mets, I might as well talk about this one. Pretty good one. I actually like this one. Chris Bassett coming in from John Sullivan. I know he is here. John Sullivan in the chat. Hello. Chris Bassett has been the best trade this offseason. You know, I kind of was like thinking about it. You know, let me actually go look up some trades. Obviously, we had a few juicy ones. We had the Matt Olson one. That was probably the big one. We just had Austin Meadows recently. We had the Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa one. We had the Randall Grichuk, Raymel Tapia. We had Luke Voigt. We had Mike Minor and Amir Garrett. We had Matt Chapman. That was a big one. We had the big one with the Seattle Mariners with Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez. And again, the Matt Olson one. Of course, the Atlanta Braves getting a huge bat in Matt Olson, but the A's getting back a great package of players. Will this end up being the best trade this offseason? Well, let's go take a look at Chris Bassitt. As of right now, he is off to a great start. 4 starts, 2.25 ERA, a 3.12 FIP, half a WAR at the moment, right around just under 10 strikeouts per 9, under 3 walks per 9. I think in terms of when it comes to the need, will he end up being the best player out of all of these guys that have been traded? I would probably sell on that, but could this have the most significance for a team? Where you take a look at the Mets, they really needed some pitching depth, felt like they really needed a guy to help solidify that rotation, especially with Jacob deGrom out. Scherzer, who I think is going to end up being fine, but he had the dead arm last year, so that was a bit of a question mark. Carrasco, Walker, question marks as well, but Carrasco's actually off to a pretty good start this season. But Chris Bassitt, could this end up being the most significant trade? Will he have the best stats? Well, we'll have to wait and see. If we take a look as of right now, Chris Bassitt, he has a 0.5 wins above replacement. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, I believe his Fangraph WAR is a little higher at the moment, 0.7. You pull up Jesse Winker's off to a bit of a slow start right now. Eugenio Suarez is off to a decent start. We have Donaldson and Kiner-Falefa here. Taking a look here at Donaldson. Where is he at? He's got a 0.1 WAR. Falefa's actually off to a really nice start, a pretty underrated start. And I've been telling you all, ever since they got him, I was thinking, man, this is a great trade for the Yankees. This is a great player for the Yankees. Donaldson has more of that name, but Kiner-Falefa, well, yeah, the bat is not amazing. A 370 slugging. He's providing defense and speed, which is what the Yankees needed. Again, stat-wise, there's a lot of guys here that definitely could end up having better statistical seasons than Chris Bassitt. But I think Chris Bassitt could definitely have the biggest impact out of all of these teams. I mean, sure, yeah, you can make that argument for Matt Olson as well, losing Freddie Freeman. But when it comes to what the Mets needed, this could end up being the best trade in terms of significance and impact. So those are my thoughts on that. So moving on here, let's go to our next hot take. Here we go. So with Chris Bassitt, obviously he's off to a very nice start. But also in that division, Kyle Wright is also off to a very good start. One of the best pitchers in the game right now. From Davis Gorman. Thank you, Davis. Kyle Wright finishes in the top 10 in the NL Cy Young voting. Ooh, nice and juicy if you ask me. Let's pull up some Baseball Savant with Kyle Wright. I'm actually pretty excited to go pull up his numbers here. What the heck is going on here? My keyboard is not working. There we go. Kyle Wright. All right. So here we go. Taking a look here. So Kyle Wright at the moment. Where are we? Why is Kyle Wright not coming up? Am I just blind? Am I not seeing him? Why am I not seeing him? He was right here at the top. He should be right here behind Carlos Rodon. Where is he? All right. Well, I don't know why he wasn't on the leaderboard, but Kyle Wright, 3 starts so far, 17 innings. Hey, man. This guy's doing great. He's got a 0.9 Fangraph WAR, a 0.72 FIP, Taking a look, 13.76 strikeouts per 9, 1 walk per 9, no home runs allowed so far. He's off to a fantastic start. And taking a look at the baseball, the baseball savant numbers, I mean, good grief. This guy, you got to remember, this was a former top 5 pick in the draft. He was drafted 5th overall in 2017. This guy has the potential. I mean, when you just go take a look at his numbers, sure, the command and his changeup probably aren't there right now. Curveball is kind of average, but he's got a good slider. He's got decent velocity. When you take a look at his velocity, he's averaging 95 miles an hour right now, which, I mean, that's up there. It's in the top 25%. Kyle Wright looks like he's putting it together, and he's finally figuring it out. I mean, it's a little early to say. It is hard to really say, will he finish in the top 10? He's on track. Again, let me see one more time. Let me see if I can pull up the pitching leaders. I don't know why he's not popping up here. Why is he not popping up? Does he not have the qualified? Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, he didn't have the qualified amount of innings. But in the National League here, he's only behind Carlos Rodon. Now, if this hot take was him winning a Cy Young, I would probably have to sell because I need to see more. As of right now, if you ask me maybe again, a few months from now, 2 months from now, well, then we'll have a better idea. But it's too early to say. But could he finish top 10? Well, he is going to have a lot of competition. Even some other guys are really stepping up this year. Look at Jesus Luzardo. Can we give it up for Jesus Luzardo right now? This guy's off to a great start this year. He's got a 1.33 FIP, over 14 strikeouts per 9. Yeah, the walks are a little high, but Jesus Luzardo, man, look at Merrill Kelly. This guy's having a really good start to his season. You got these Miles Michaelis coming back this year for a full season. He's off to a fantastic start. He's going to have, even his own teammate, Max Fried. He has a lot of competition out here. So it's going to take a lot for Kyle Wright to really establish himself. And don't forget about guys like Corbin Burns, Logan Webb. Don't forget about Walker Buehler, Sandy Alcantara. This is definitely a hot take because Kyle Wright, he just hasn't shown that track record yet. He's gotten hit around pretty hard in the last couple of years, but he's off to a great start, and you got to love what you're seeing out of him because this guy was getting dinged around a lot. Even if you go back to the playoffs and the COVID championships a couple of years ago, he was getting knocked around a little bit. So, but as of right now, if I were to lean one way, I think right now I would have to sell a top 10 Cy Young finish, but I need to see more. I just need to see maybe another month or two, I think, and then if he's still doing stuff like this, even maybe just a little less than this, I definitely think he could put himself into consideration. Off to a great start. Can't take anything away. But he's, what else can you say? There's nothing really else to say. He's just doing great. So give it up for Kyle Wright. But I like also just that these other guys are really stepping up as well. I love seeing guys like Miles Michaelis ranking 6th overall right now, Jesus Luzardo, even Tyler McGill as well. I love seeing that. So, but taking a look here, let's talk about a guy over in the American League that could possibly go after a Cy Young Award. Remember last year, the Cy Young Award was a bit up in the air in the American League last year, but could this guy really jump into it this year? Nestor Cortez from Matt Lewis. Matt Lewis, thank you so much. Nestor Cortez wins the Cy Young. Now, he's going really bold here. He's going winning a Cy Young. Let's go take a look at the American League as of right now. And here's one reason I really like doing hot takes, because it gives us an opportunity to, it's almost like a midweek report. That's why I like doing hot takes in the middle of the week, because it kind of gives us an idea of what's been going on this week so far, and how these guys are doing. So, again, I appreciate everyone submitting hot takes for me. It really does help us all out here in the baseball community. So, but Nestor Cortez, as of right now, funny enough, his own teammate out in the bullpen is actually putting up maybe even more of a case than Nestor Cortez as of right now. Michael King. This guy is just amazing. Good grief. Look at Michael King. 15 strikeouts per 9. A 0.26 FIP. This guy's insane. Michael King. Holy cow. But you take a look at some of these young guys. Scooble. Logan Gilbert. Look at Kevin Gausman. He's been one of the best free agent signings so far. You got to love it. But let's talk about Nestor Cortez. Nestor Cortez, really good numbers, man. Really good across the board. 14 strikeouts per 9, under 2 walks per 9, half a home run per 9. I mean, come on now. These are just really good numbers. Now, I will say this. I am paying attention to that 222 batting average on balls in play. That is very low. I do think that is going to come up eventually. Remember, around the league average BABIP, you're looking always at around maybe like 290 to 300. So at 222 BABIP right now is pretty low. So I do think some of these balls are going to start falling a little more into play. So that's why it is impressive when you see someone like Kevin Gausman with a 391 BABIP. A lot of balls are falling into play, but that just goes to show that he's really knuckling down with guys on base. So you got to love that. And same thing with like Skubal, Ohtani as well. But Nestor Cortez, I definitely think, he's a fun pitcher too. So I think he brings in that attention onto himself just because he's just fun to watch. I mean, as a Red Sox fan, he's not fun to watch. And also, I mean, the mustache is just amazing. The mustache, it's just great. Could you imagine this guy wins a Cy Young? He was drafted in the 36th round. He was the 1,094th pick back in 2013. But this guy's numbers are looking really good. And he's doing it all with an average fastball of 91 miles an hour. This guy is just fantastic. He's getting guys to chase, swing and miss. He's not giving up a lot of hard hit balls. He's not giving up a lot of exit velocity, not a lot of barrels. I definitely think, man, I absolutely think this guy really could. He was really good last year. If you go to his numbers from last year, take a look here. Back in 2021, pitched in 22 games overall, 93 innings, had a 2.90 ERA. He had the 1.08 whip. If we take a look at his FIP and his XFIP from last year, his FIP was 3.78, so that's pretty solid. XFIP was 4.18. That's around league average. But he was putting up some really good numbers last year, not giving up a lot of hard hit balls last year either. So I think just building on that 2021 season, you really got to love it. This is a guy that was in the minor leagues for a long time. 2013 all the way to 2018, went back down in 2019. I mean, he actually went to Baltimore back in 2018, and then he went back to the Yankees. He was with Seattle in 2020. This guy's really bounced around, man. So it's really a good story overall when you think about, someone that's really bounced around in the minor leagues, gone to a couple of different organizations. So honestly, Nestor Cortez to me, a very nice story in my opinion. I really like that. He's kind of a minor league journeyman, bit of a late bloomer, but I love what he's doing. And you know what? I'm going to buy it because I think Nestor Cortez, this guy, he's got really good stuff. If we actually go here to his numbers on StatCast, let's go here to the movement on some of his pitches. He's getting great movement. He's getting good vertical movement on his four-seamers. So he doesn't throw all that hard, but it's got some good vertical movement to it. The cutter is doing really well for him. You got to love it, man. So I think Nestor Cortez, he's just hard to hit. And I think in the end, these guys that are they're hard to hit like that, I think they could definitely have success. E-Rock TV, $2 super chat. I was put in timeout. Sad boy hours. Really? You were put in timeout? I am so why were you put in timeout? I am so sorry, E-Rock TV. I don't know why. E-Rock TV. I will make sure. Moderators in the chat. Keep an eye out, please. So, also, we had a super chat earlier from CJ LaChapelle. Let me actually see if I can play that super chat again. Let's see. Can I play it again? Oh, I can't play it again. Why can't I play it again? I'm sorry, CJ. I don't know why it never popped up earlier, but let me read it. Do you think there will be a manager that manages one team for at least 15 to 20 like Bobby Cox did with the Braves? I feel like, man, are those days maybe behind us a little bit? Because organizations, they're constantly changing. Look at Terry Francona. I thought that guy was going to be with the Red Sox for a long time. I thought Joe Girardi was going to be with the Yankees for a long time. You know, you don't see it really anymore because organizations, they're trying to, you know, keep up with the times. They're always trying different things. Sometimes, you know, organizations feel like they need a different voice. I don't know. I think those days, I think it's very possible those days could be behind us just because organizations they're always looking for something different. It seems. I feel like the average lifespan of a manager now, I mean, actually, maybe I'm even overplaying this one. Maybe like 5 to 10 years max. I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like now, I feel like you just see managers really coming and going just so much more now. But I don't know. But 15, 20 years, like Bobby Cox, I don't know. But then there's also these other guys where, you know, these older guys too. Well, do they want to manage that long? You know, that's why I was almost kind of surprised. Buck Showalter kind of jumped back. He jumped back into managing this year. You know, he's not getting any younger. So hopefully, I really do. I hope there are guys that end up staying that long to manage a team. I think that's really good, especially, you know, players as well sticking with their team. You know, are we going to see a player stick with the same team for their whole career? Will Juan Soto be a national for life? We'll have to wait and see on that. But good question, CJ LaChapelle. I appreciate that, my friend. So, yes, E-Rock TV. Yeah, Showalter. They paid him a lot of money, so that definitely helped. So, let's take a look here at the next hot take. Speaking of Nestor Cortez and the Yankees, how about Anthony Rizzo? 3 home runs last night. Are you kidding me? Luke 22. How are we doing, my friend? Anthony Rizzo has a better season than Freeman and Olsen. I love it. Let's pull it up here. Here we go. I already had Matt Olson's stats up here. Let's take a look. Actually, where does Anthony Rizzo currently rank on the American League leaderboards? He is 5th overall as of right now. So let's go take a look. He's actually, as of right now, he is... Here we go. He's actually having a better season than Matt Olson. And let's pull up Freeman. Freeman's been doing pretty good. So Freeman, as of right now, he's at a 1.0 WAR. This is a juicy one. I like this. The one thing with Anthony Rizzo, I always like that, you know, Matt Olson too, but Anthony Rizzo, he's got a pretty decent glove out there, man. He's got a pretty decent glove. So, and I just think the home runs, that he is just a smart hitter. John Boy actually made a really good video. I don't know if anyone saw it. He did a breakdown of Anthony Rizzo kind of readjusting himself in the box because the guy was throwing him changeups. And Anthony Rizzo, what he did, he just moved up in the box a little bit, and that way he could catch up to a fastball before it broke. And look at the results, man. He's got 8 home runs so far. I believe that is leading the American League. I believe that's leading the major leagues. I think so. Yeah, that's leading the major leagues. Anthony Rizzo, he's off to a great start, man. You got to love what, I mean, and the fact that out of Freeman and Olsen, this guy is way cheaper than both of them. To me, I think just Rizzo is such a good fit for the Yankees. I think his personality really fits with the Yankees. I think he kind of just brings that friendly, playful, mellow vibe to the Yankees, which I feel like they've lacked over the last couple of years. Just stone-faced, serious guys all the time in that Yankee dugout. But then, you know, someone like Anthony Rizzo, more of a goofier kind of a player. I think he really was a guy that the Yankees really will end up just appreciating, just having him in the clubhouse. But the fact that he's putting up these kind of numbers through 17 games so far, I mean, I just think the fit of Yankee Stadium. Now, Matt Olson definitely could have been the same thing at Yankee Stadium, but Rizzo has that advantage where he has that short porch. I mean, look what he did. He poked. It looked like it was basically a fly ball. One of those home runs was basically a fly ball in most stadiums and an easy out, but ended up going out in Yankee Stadium. He's going to have that advantage over guys like Freeman and Olsen. So I definitely could see it happening. It's kind of crazy to say, but I think if you put Rizzo in any other park, I don't think he ends up having those same kind of numbers. But he also looks like he's in good shape this season as well. He looks like he's lost a little bit of weight. And I I always like when a player just gets themselves into good shape. He looks a little slimmer than last year. Maybe I'm just crazy, and I don't know. He looks a little slimmer to me. He looks like he's in better shape. But Anthony Rizzo, man, I definitely think he could end up having a better season than Freeman and Olsen just because of where he's playing. But then also, too, with Anthony Rizzo, even when he goes to other fields, like Fenway Park, for instance, if he goes oppo, he can use that monster. So, and actually, where has he, if you take a look at batted balls, actually, he doesn't go oppo very much. So maybe I take that back a little bit. This season so far, he's only hitting 14% opposite field. But really, when it comes to him at Yankee Stadium, he should be pulling as much as he can. So, but, if he were to go to Fenway, there are some hitter-friendly parks out here in the American League. So we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening with Rizzo. One thing to take note of with Anthony Rizzo, here we go. Let me go back to him right here. So Rizzo, funny enough, his batting average on balls in play is really low, a 214. So I would expect that that's going to get higher. A 214, that is really low. So very interesting. But I will definitely, I'm more of a lukewarm buy on that right now because Freeman and Olsen are just so good. But hey, because of where he is, I definitely think he could end up having a better statistical season than those guys. We'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about another guy. He likes to hit home runs in the American League. Let's talk about George Springer. I like this hot take. Habs fan, 315. Springer hits 40 home runs. Now, George Springer, taking a look. I believe the most home runs he has had in a season is 39. And I think I'm right. 39 is the most he's had in a single season. So he just missed 40 back in 2019. As of right now, of course I have to talk about this. George Springer with the game-tying home run against my Red Sox last night off of Jake Diekman. Are you kidding me? I wanted to just run in front of a truck when that happened. This Red Sox team this year, man. I don't even know. Actually, how are my Red Sox doing? How are we doing? How are we doing right now? I've been doing this, so I haven't been looking at the scores. What are we doing right now? Okay, all right, my Red Sox are winning. Okay. Whew. That was they've been scaring me a little bit. Nice to see my Red Sox here. It looks like they're going to get the win. It looks like they're going to get the win. They're up 6-1. Let's see. It looked like they were going to get the win last night, but the bullpen failed them. So, in good position. Hopefully. And I got to say here, Xander Bogaerts, he is just off to just a silly start. He's hitting .397. He's got 4 hits tonight. Are you kidding me? What the heck is going on with Xander Bogaerts, man? He's out of his mind. He's hitting .397 so far. Xander Bogaerts. Give it up for him. But we're talking about George Springer here. Will he get to 40 home runs? Let's break out the good old trusted phone calculator. As of right now, he has 4 home runs through 17 games. If we were to, so the most he has played, he actually has played a full 162. I would imagine he's not going to play a full 162, but over a 162 game season, he is on pace. He's on pace for 38 home runs over a full 162. So the numbers are not on his side right now. I would also imagine they're probably going to make sure he gets rest. They're going to manage his playing time. Don't forget, he only played 78 games last year. This is a guy, he has been prone to not being able to stay on the field. So I'd imagine the Blue Jays are going to manage his innings a bit, or manage his playing time. So he's already not on pace for 38. He's had injury problems in the past, and I think the Blue Jays, they're aware of that. They want this guy for the playoffs. They want this guy for the second half. They can't afford this guy to, go down with any sort of an injury like he did last year. But if I were to buy or sell, I would have to say sell. I would say, I think 30 to 35 home runs sounds a little more realistic for Springer. But hey, if he gets hot, who knows? Could he end up getting 40 home runs for the first time in his career? We'll have to wait and see. Last year, he did have 22 home runs through 78 games. So, over a full season, if he had played 162 last year, he would have had right around, he was on pace for 45 home runs. So, we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening with Springer. I would imagine I'm going to stay a little more conservative there. I say he gets 30 to 35, but we'll have to wait and see. But I will sell for now. Let's get you guys involved here in the chat. I actually would, I'd like to start maybe seeing what you guys think. George Springer, what do you think? Buy or sell? 40 home runs. Let me know. Just type in buy or sell in the chat. I want to see what you all think. I got to start doing that a little bit more. I want to see what you all think. Lando Sports says sell. Ashboy says sell. Vitsky, he says 32. Oh, we're seeing a lot of sells. A lot of sells. Owen Sampson with a buy. Bobby, you think buy as well? All right. John Sullivan, you're thinking 32. All right, so we're getting some buys. We're getting a couple of buys, more sells. So, all righty. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I should be asking all of you. What do you think about these hot takes? Who cares what my potato self thinks? I want to know what you all think. So let's move on to our next hot take. We got a few pretty decent ones. This one is interesting. This one's interesting. I like this one. This is what I'm talking about. I like unique ones. Unique. Try to make your hot takes every time I ask you every single week. Try to make them as unique as possible. I love them. I love them. I like this one. Here we go. From Parker. Ke'Bryan Hayes leads the National League in hits. Ooh, I like this one. It's a fun one. Let's pull up Ke'Bryan Hayes here. Here we go. So let's take a look at the National League hit leaders right now. So, believe it or not, Ke'Bryan Hayes, this is a fun young player. We all know his glove. Very good. But, we're kind of wondering, if we take a look at Ke'Bryan Hayes' stats from last year, I definitely think he could end up being a really good hitter. Obviously, in the minor leagues, he was great with the hit tool. Take a look. Fangraphs, they give him a future value of a 60 hit tool. Average with the power, 50 game power, 50 raw power. Right now, they have it as a 45, but amazing in the field. Because of the hit tool alone that he has shown in the minor leagues. If we actually go take a look at some of his minor league numbers, taking a look here. In the minors, if we go back here to if you look back at his averages, 2018, he hit 293. So, and that was in AA over 117 games. So, 2019 in AAA, he only hit 265 over those 110. But go back to the COVID championship season, over 24 games, he was hitting 376. So, he can definitely get the bat on the ball. Last year, he only hit 257, but he is off to a scorching start, hitting 364. As of right now, not counting tonight, let's actually pull up here. Here we go. That game went final, so let's see. Fangraphs usually takes a while to update. But Hayes, he went hitless today, so that still stands at 20 hits. But right now, he's in 7th place when it comes to hits. Look who's in first. Look at Eric Hosmer. Oh my goodness, I just hiccuped. Look at Eric Hosmer. Tied for the lead in the National League with 23 hits with Manny Machado. Give it up for Eric Hosmer. Come on now. I love it. But Ke'Bryan Hayes, I gotta sell. I have to sell. I'm a track record guy. It is hard to just predict. But let's actually go to Baseball Savant. Let's take a look. Actually, I will actually pull up one thing on Fangraphs. So let's actually take a look at his contact percentage. Well, actually, it'll say it on Baseball Savant too. Will it? No, it doesn't say contact rate. But if you look at his numbers right now, he's fantastic. I mean, good grief. Exit velocity is looking good. Hard hit percentage. He's actually not getting a lot of barrels. If this guy gets these barrels up, oh boy. Oh man. It's going to look pretty good. Believe it or not, outs above average does not like him this year. Interesting. What is he doing right now on Fangraphs? They have him at a 1.0 defense so far. So, I don't know. He's doing fine. One thing I want to take note of, his BABIP. I've mentioned BABIP a couple of times. But Raider Nagel, thank you for subscribing, my friend. But his batting average on balls in play is a 435. That is really high. I do think that is going to come down eventually. So be aware of that. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep up this 364. Again, league average BABIP, you're looking at around anywhere from 280 to 300. So 435, that's extremely high. So let's see what ends up happening with that. But let's take a look at batted ball. So let me go here. Batted ball. Let's look at his contact percentage. Where is contact percentage? I think it's under plate discipline. Contact percentage. So he's actually third right now. He is making a lot of contact. He's third in contact percentage with an 88.6%. So that is definitely helping his case if he wants to be the leader in hits. Also, don't forget about Nick Madrigal. Look at Joey Wendell in second place. Now, let's take a look. How much is he swinging? He's not swinging at a lot of outside pitches. Ke'Bryan Hayes. Right now, he ranks, I think, what did it say? Around like 28%. So he's 32nd overall right now in outside swing percentage. So he's not swinging a lot. So he's not chasing a lot. And that actually, that makes sense here. Over here on Baseball Savant, he's in the top 35% when it comes to chase rate. So I definitely think that's going to help his case. If he can stay away from those pitches on the outside, that's going to be good. So let's take a look here. Outside contact percentage. He's 5th overall right now. So he is making contact on balls on the outside. Let's take a look at his zone contact. Right now he's 5th. So you got to love that. I definitely think Ke'Bryan Hayes, if he keeps this up, he's going to have a chance. I just think there's a lot of good hitters in this National League. You know, guys that can just rack up hits. Again, let's take a look at the leading batting averages right now. Hosmer, I wonder if he keeps it up. Believe it or not, Ke'Bryan Hayes actually has the second highest batting average right now. But it's just that BABIP that's really high, and it does scare me a little bit. So, yeah, you got some other guys here who could definitely end up getting some more hits. Let's go back to the hit leaders. I mean, even guys like Freddie Freeman, you know, Olsen are here, you know. Who else? I mean, Lindor. He looks like he's having a bounce-back season. So it's too early to tell. It really is. It really is just way too early to tell. There's going to be some competition. But, you know, again, with Hayes, the BABIP is a little high for me. So once that comes down a little bit, I want to see where he's at. But until then, it's a little too early to tell on that one. But I want to see what you all think. Let me know what you think. Do you think Ke'Bryan Hayes could be the leader in hits by the end of the season? I want to know what you all think. We're starting to get some more people here in the chat. I want to say thank you for coming out. 77 people as of right now. Thank you so much. Lando Sports, you're thinking sell. Let's see what everyone else is thinking. Owen, you said buy earlier. Bobby Nardone, sell. Soto has that locked down. John Sullivan, you're thinking buy. All right, Owen, you're thinking sell. Grizz, you're thinking sell. All right, we're going to have to wait and see. A little more sells right now. Alex, I'm sure Pirates will trade him if he is playing that well. Nah, they're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him. That's one of their cornerstones for the future. Shotgun facelift, sell. Nexus Eagles, sell. Vitsky, Hayes most hits, sell for sure. Sean says buy. But yeah, that's another one too, Lando. He is young, so he's still building that experience in the major leagues. So I'll probably lean more towards sell right now, but hey, crazier things have happened, right? Here we go. We got a couple of more hot takes before we get out of here for the night. Let's talk about a couple of teams maybe making a run for the playoffs. How about the LA Angels off to a pretty decent start? Jaron Pavic, Angels pitching gets hot, and they take over the division from the Mariners in September. So you got a couple of hot takes in here. So you think the Mariners are going to be right there for the division by the end of the season, which I'm all about. I picked the Mariners to win the division this year. But you got the Angels getting hot at the end and making a run. Taking a look at the standings currently. Angels are a fun team. Finally, this Angels team is starting to win some games. You love it. You like seeing them over 500. I think this really could be an Angels team. They end up getting a wild card. I think they could end up getting a wild card. Did I pick them to get a wild card? I don't remember. Did I? No, I think I had them finishing on the outside. So I think I had the Astros getting a wild card. But, I mean, honestly, if there's a year for the Angels to do it, it's this year, man. They're a good team, man. They've had good players now for a while. And, you know, they got these younger guys like Marsh and Adele. Ohtani and Trout, if those two guys can stay healthy, that's amazing. But the big thing with the Angels right now, it's the pitching. It's always the pitching with the Angels. So taking a look here. Also, how about Taylor Ward, right? This is another guy that's been stepping up for the Angels. They've had some guys really stepping up for them. This is another one, not just Adele. Had the grand slam last week, but Ward hitting 353 through 10 games, a few home runs. This guy's going crazy right now. Taylor Ward, man. Give it up for Taylor Ward. But the pitching is what we're focusing on. So they got a lot of options right now. Ohtani, Detmers, Syndergaard, Suarez, Lorenzen, Sandoval. I mean, last year it felt like they had none. They felt like they had no options besides Ohtani. But now they got some depth, which is what they needed. Let's pull up LA's stats. All right, looking at the starting pitching so far. What the heck is going on? All right, here we go. Believe it or not, none of their guys actually have the qualified amount of innings up to this point. But Ohtani, he's been doing well. He's got a FIP of 1.19. Sandoval, 1.61. What I like about this, you know what my favorite things just looking at this right now? It's not these FIPs. It's not these strikeout rates. It's they're making all their starts. That's what I love to see. Availability and consistency, in my opinion, is way more important. If you can take your You can make your turn in the rotation every 5 days and pitch effectively. That's what the Red Sox did last year. That's what they did. And they ended up having a good season. So Ohtani's doing good. Sandoval's doing good. Syndergaard is off to a nice start. He's not striking out a lot of guys. So he's getting a lot of ground balls, which when you think of Syndergaard, you think of a power pitcher. You think of strikeouts. And Syndergaard, he's getting a lot of ground balls so far. Lorenzen, he actually, I think, did pretty well in his last start. Let's go to his game log. 6 innings in his last start against Cleveland. Only give up 3 hits. He did walk 4 guys, but that's okay. They're just getting these guys to make their starts. And I think if they just stay consistent, they got the firepower here. Guys like Ohtani, Syndergaard, those are guys, I would love to have on the mound if I were in a tight playoff race. Absolutely. And then you got some youth here in Detmers. This is a guy, he's still figuring it out a little bit, but once he figures it out, just wait. Detmers is going to be really good. But Lorenzen's making his starts. Sandoval, that's an underrated guy. He's getting a lot of strikeouts right now. So I can buy this. I definitely think it's possible. I don't see why not. And hey, if they're in a good position at the deadline, could they go after a pitcher? Could you go after someone like a Luis Castillo? Maybe? Or a Maile from the Reds. Why not? why couldn't the Angels were connected with Luis Castillo this past offseason? So could they go after Luis Castillo if they're in a position at the deadline? I think that would be amazing. I mean, come on. So I absolutely think the Angels making a run for that division is definitely possible. And with the Angels bullpen, that's another thing too. While the starting pitching is great, you need that bullpen too. Rizzo Iglesias is off to a really nice start. 4 saves overall, right around 12 strikeouts per 9, a 1.17 ERA, a 2.16 FIP. Rizzo Iglesias getting it done out there in that bullpen. And let's actually, really quick before I move on to the next hot take, let me look at where the Angels rank with their bullpen overall right now. So, actually, believe it or not, the Angels bullpen as a whole, real quick before I do move on, they got some good numbers in this bullpen. Let me actually pull that up really quick. Actually, I can pull it up right here. So they're only ranked 28th in relief pitching right now. They're not getting a lot of strikeouts as a whole. So that is one thing to consider. As a whole, they have a 4.69 FIP. Taking a look. Iglesias is doing good. Herget's doing fine. Herget, that's another one where the ERA is high, but the FIP is low. Loop has been a really nice addition for them. So I think it's just a matter of they're trying to figure out what guys are going to be in what roles in this bullpen. Iglesias is going to be the closer. Guys like Loop, those are going to be your setup guys. So, and actually really quick, let's see how Fangraphs has their bullpen as of right now. So Iglesias, and Ryan Tepera as well. But actually Tepera is off to, I think, a pretty slow start. Tepera. Yeah, his ERA is fine, but his FIP is high. So keep an eye out for that. But they got a lot of options in this bullpen. Iglesias, Tepera, Loop, Mayers, Bradley. That's another one that's getting off to a bit of a slow start here. Bradley's numbers not looking very good, I think. He's got a 9.45 ERA. His FIP is a lot better at 4.13. So I think this Angels bullpen, hey, remember with the Giants last year? In the first month, the San Francisco Giants, their bullpen was actually not very good. The Angels feels a little similar, where they have some potential arms in this bullpen, some good arms in this bullpen, just like the Giants last year. They had good arms in that bullpen too. It just kind of took them a little bit for that to get solidified in that bullpen. I think the same case could be happening with the Angels as well. So, but starting pitching, if they can keep making their starts, bullpen solidifies themselves. Why couldn't the Angels make a run at the division? I don't see why they couldn't, or at least a wild card. So here we go. Last but not least, I saved a fun one for last. This is pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Here we go. Arizona Diamondbacks from Johan. That's not the right one. Hold on a second. I'm so sorry. That's from last week. Oh, that's embarrassing. Hold on. Of course, my potato brain messed something up. Here we go. There we go. No, that's not the right one. What is going on? No. Hold on a second, everyone. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. We're fixing it. Technical difficulties. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. Let's talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks from Andrew Moore. The Diamondbacks acquire bullpen help at the deadline, making every team in the NL West a contender. Oh, man. I love it. So, let's take a look at where the Diamondbacks currently stand. Looking at the standings. Here we go. So, the Diamondbacks, they're in last place, but they have won a couple in a row. They're 8-11. They're 5.5 back. 5.5 back. They're not going to win the division, but could they maybe be a wild card team? Interesting. Taking a look with the Diamondbacks right now. here's the thing. I have a bit of a soft spot for the Diamondbacks. I always have. I feel like I've always had a soft spot for the Diamondbacks ever since they beat the Yankees in the 2001 World Series. I don't know why. I think for obvious reasons, beating the Yankees that year, I will always have a soft spot for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So maybe I'm a little more high on them than other people. But I actually do like some of the players on their team. I think they do have some talent there, but the numbers aren't really in their favor as of right now. The batting, as of right now, they only rank 27th. Well, actually, that's offense and defense. When it comes to just the offense, not much better. Only 29th overall with the Diamondbacks, so that offense is really going to have to kick it into gear. However, I believe the pitching is doing a little bit better. The pitching right now is 15th overall. 15th overall. They have a 2.73 ERA, a 3.70 FIP. Those are pretty decent numbers. Need to strike out some more guys. Need to get those walks a little more down, but they're doing a good job at keeping the home run in the yard. So keeping the ball in the yard. So Arizona, not some bad starting pitching. And you know what? Some of these guys are really stepping up for him. Merrill Kelly, I mentioned him earlier. He's off to a really nice start this year. Zach Gallen, a couple of starts. I think he did make his last start, though. He had a no decision where he had 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 run on 2 hits. That's a good start. And then also Madison Bumgarner. Look at Madison Bumgarner right now. He's walking a lot of guys, 5 walks per 9, not a lot of strikeouts. But hey, he's got a 1.00 ERA. He's got a 4.02 FIP. You know, look at Zach Davies. Well, actually, okay, the numbers aren't very good. But you know what, Zach Davies? Hey, whatever. He's a back-end rotation kind of a guy. So I think the starting pitching is actually looking okay for the Diamondbacks. So if you have some decent starting pitching, I think you always have a chance. Now, let's take a look here how Arizona's bullpen is set up. And again, the offense is not doing very good right now, but they do have some decent bats, in my opinion. I do love me some Seth Beer. Ketel Marte, obviously, is very good. I believe he is off to a bit of a slow start. Yeah, he's only hitting 149 so far, so you know he's going to heat up eventually. So give him some time. I think he'll end up being fine. I believe Christian Walker is actually hitting a lot better. I could be wrong. No, he's just hitting some home runs. So he's got a few home runs. He's only hitting 161. But I've never really been a big fan of Christian Walker, honestly. But the offense definitely needs to start stepping it up a little bit. As for the bullpen, you got some arms here. So let's see where they rank in terms of relief pitching. Arizona, as of right now, only 29th. They do have some arms, but bullpen is not looking too good overall. You do have some guys. Kyle Nelson's having a good start to the year. Corbin Martin's actually pitched a few games out of that bullpen. He's actually done pretty good. Poppin's looking okay. They got some guys. Melanson, he is the closer. He's been fine so far. But if we take a look, Ian Kennedy, I don't know what happened with Ian Kennedy. With the Rangers last year, he looked really good. And then he went to the Phillies, and he just became like a shell of himself. I'm not sure. Oh, Sean, did Gallen pitch today? Oh, that's what I was about to say. He only has 2 starts. Oh, let's pull that up here. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you letting me know in the chat. Let me pull that up here. Arizona. I'm so used to these West Coast teams playing at night as well. I didn't realize Arizona won this series, didn't they? They won the series. I believe they took 2 out of 3. Right? Yeah, they won yesterday. And then, yeah, they took 2 out of 3. So, hey, good for the Diamondbacks. Taking a series against the Dodgers today. Oh, did what I read earlier about Gallen, was that today? No, that was his last start. That was Friday. So what did he do? Let me see his line for today. Where the heck is it? Here we go. Oh, yeah. Wow. Look at Zach Gallen today, huh? Wow. 6 innings, 2 hits, 5 Ks. Oh, look at Zach Gallen, huh? I love me some Zach Gallen, man. I think he's got potential. Yeah, Kennedy didn't do very well today, but Melancon got the save. You know, this Diamondbacks team, I would not completely sleep on them. I think there is potential with this team. Is it going to be enough for a playoff spot? I don't know. Probably not. But I think they could be a pest in that division. They're not. They got players here. So, and they got some guys down in the minor leagues as well. You know, you do have some potential down in the minors. You got some pretty good players. You know, hey, good to see the Diamondbacks winning a series. This could be one of those series where they go back into the clubhouse today, feeling pretty good about themselves. Could they end up going on a run? This could be one of those confidence booster kind of a series where, who knows? Maybe they rattle off 5 straight wins here in the next week, and they end up getting over 500. This is a feel-good win for the Diamondbacks today, and this could be a series win that could propel them. Maybe. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Sean, Brent Strom has looked really good too. Let's go back to the Diamondbacks. Where is he? Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm like, wait, what? I was about to say, who the heck is Brent Strom? I see what you're saying now. Yes, he's doing a good job with them. But I do like some of these guys. I really do. I think Corbin Martin is actually pretty nice for that bullpen out there. So Kennedy's going to have to pick it up a little bit. I like Melancon in the closer role. I think he's pretty underrated. So could the Diamondbacks make the playoffs? Could they make a run? We'll have to see. And also, if the bullpen still does need an arm, this hot take, it said they'll go after a bullpen arm and then make a run. So could they end up? They have prospects. The Diamondbacks can go make a trade if they want to. They have prospects. So I don't know. Could you maybe go after someone, you know, like a reliever out there? Maybe, I can't think of someone off the top of my head right now, but maybe like David Bednar on the Pirates. Could you go after maybe someone like that? So I don't know. I think there's potential with this Diamondbacks team, but everyone, that's all I got for tonight. Hot takes once again, another successful night. Really like some of these hot takes this week. Please be on the lookout for more hot takes next week. Also, speaking of hot takes, I did post a video this morning. I was reacting to ESPN's hot takes. You know how I feel about ESPN. It's not my favorite source of media to look to. So, but there were a couple of hot takes on there that I thought were okay. Some of them were a little silly, but if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But I do want to thank you all for coming out tonight. We got up to around 80 people in the chat tonight. So, but everyone, be on the lookout tomorrow. I'm going to try and post a video on Jose Bautista tomorrow. Every Thursday, I like to do a bit of a throwback video where I kind of just go back and look at some guys' numbers, go look at maybe, you know, some special seasons from some players, where in the future I'm going to talk about, you know, special seasons, not just for players, but for teams as well, even just special seasons as well. So Throwback Thursday, I would like to start doing that every Thursday, where I just, you know, go take a look back at some good old baseball back in the day. So please, before you do get out of here, if you can, please hit that like button. Right now we're at 60 likes. I would love to get to 100 likes before we get out of here. If you can, please hit that like button. So I'm going to get out of here, everyone. Also, don't forget about partnerships with SeatGeek as well as Prize Picks. Use my code HYDE for SeatGeek, $20 off your first purchase, as well as my code for Prize Picks, Ginger. They'll 100% match your deposit. Everyone, have yourself a great night, and I'll talk to you next time.